Yeah, man, people. Greetings to the world. Much love and respect to each and everyone. We're there again. Respect to the people and passing through. Don't forget to smash the like button and share the content and subscribe to the channel. Here we go again, with another World Cup content. Talking about what happened or that transpired yesterday. The big hitters, the big three on the day yesterday. Argentina, the little magician, the GOAT, arguably the best the world have ever seen. Kylian Mbappe hand over that button to Erling Haaland yesterday after that brace versus the Senegalese team. Overcome that slight difficult hurdles that would have probably was talking in the era of what happened in 2002. Famous win. First time Senegal was in the World Cup. They get past that little hurdle. Now they're moving on to the next game in their group. But Erling Haaland, their first game back into the World Cup. Yeah, their first game back into the World Cup since 1998. Who would have predicted Erling Haaland score a brace? Big talks coming into this tournament, especially with some very bad performances in the friendlies leading up to this World Cup. Especially that game that they played against Morocco, where Erling Haaland was a non-existence. But speaking on what happened yesterday, man, they smashed Iraq to pieces, and France beat Senegal, one of the best teams in Africa. Argentina get past a newly farm Algeria team with a few, very good youngsters, they're implementing into their system as well. Yeah, it's a new surging Algeria team that's arguably, under rebuilding at this moment. I think next World Cup will be the best time to grade these sets of young crop of players with a few experienced ones, right? But we're going to get started off with the France game. Yeah, we're going to get started off with the France game. Looking at the France game where France starting 11 and Senegal starting 11. And you're wondering and looking at the front four for France. Doué, Dembele, Kylian, and Olise. If you look at all the goals that these fellas score for their club, the season that just ended would have been right up to around 94, 95. That's no test to any other national team. That's how powerful this French team is. Yeah, that's why they are the favorite. And this is why I keep saying this. Each major tournament every 2 years, Didier Deschamps have been underperforming and underachieving. Not underperforming, underachieving with this French national team over the years since 2012. Only one World Cup. Magnificent. But I think he should have at least a Euro in the bag. But when I look at how the game started, I've never seen Olise, Dembele, Desiree Doué, and Kylian Mbappe made so much errors in that game. So many misplaced, bad passes, bad decisions. And I was a bit worried of, is this the right lineup to elevate the French team to return back to the glory days of winning another World Cup after what happened in Russia and go back deep again, after going back-to-back finals in the last 8 years? Is this the right team to do it? And I was a bit skeptical because I was thinking that this team was very too much top heavy. And I think they started the second half a bit okay. Much better than how they ended it. But the change was the Barcola and Dembele. And from there, the script flipped. And France just looked a different total team. But Senegal would have create their moments and create threats. Nicholas Jackson, that shot that hit the post and came back and hit, I think, Mayagan left foot almost could have ricocheted back into the goal. They had moments, and I think I don't remember if it was Nicholas Jackson, but I think it was one of those players out on that right-hand side. I think it was Nicholas Jackson. He was offside when that goal was scored, but it was a magnificent finish. Hit that right up in the top corner. But they create moments. And they're in the game. But I think the big balance was Sadio Mane was a shadow of himself in the entire game. The only time I can remember seeing Sadio Mane doing something great in that game is probably the penalty. Yeah, it's probably the penalty that him and Kylian Mbappe, was challenging in Sadio Mane's own defensive third, where I think it was the perfect call. I don't think that was a penalty. I don't think that was a penalty at the time. So, Sadio Mane needs to pick up, but Kylian Mbappe, surpassing Olivier Giroud, 57 goal and 58 with the brace. I think he's 2 goals behind Miroslav Klose. 14, Lionel Messi tie equal the Miroslav Klose. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Kylian Mbappe game will play first, of match day 2 in the group stage. So let's see what he will do as well. Norway and Iraq in his next game. And I'm looking at where France need to do better, but Senegal wasn't at it. But the goal that scored by Mbappe, the youngest African player. The youngest African player, to score in a World Cup at 18. I think he's a very big talent. Senegal have some magnificent players. I think Senegal still have enough yet to get out of this group. I think they still have enough. Koulibaly was very poor in the game. He was very poor. And I think Pape Thiaw, the Senegalese coach, I think it took way too long to make some substitution. I think Iliman, India, the Everton man, I think he should have really got onto that pitch from the start of the second half to change and give them a bit something different. Because Ismail Assar, wasn't up to that. He wasn't up to the level of beating Theo Hernandez over on that left-hand side. And if you look at the back four, Jules Koundé, Upamecano, Saliba, they were solid, especially Upamecano and Saliba. Those two centre-backs are arguably one of the best experienced centre-back in this World Cup. So, Senegal team, they should bounce back. They should expect great things from this mixture of experience and a few young bloods that can merge into the starting level. But Nicholas Jackson must stay away from that outside line, and he must continue to finish his opportunities. And he got few moments. He got look-ins where he should have scored, but he missed those big moments. But moving on to the next game where I was looking at Argentina versus Algeria. Yeah, before I move on to the Norway game, Argentina versus Algeria. And I'm really looking at that game where the starting 11, not many players who started in the last final for Argentina. Otamendi is missing. Tagliafico is out injured. Angel Di Maria, retired. I think Julian Alvarez was out. So, arguably they have 6 to 7 players who started in that last final on the pitch versus Algeria. Very much still a strong team. And the strength of this Argentina team is the collective of body of work. And the body of how they're going to play together. It's a team effort for me is a strength. Different from having Lionel Messi could be the X factor. But if you look at the goals that he scored, the first one, it was a magnificent pass. But hold on. Before I go any further, I need to outline as well that pass from Olise to Kylian Mbappe. The pass of the tournament so far. Olise, that pass, no one on this planet Earth was expecting that pass maybe but Kylian Mbappe because of the partnership. You get what I'm saying? So let me just add that one in. Of a very good pass of not missing that big moment from from Olise. And I think he did change the game. You think he changed the game completely. He just took over the game from the Senegalese team. You get what I'm saying? In that second half. But the pass from the Lionel Messi security man, Rodrigo de Paul, it was an outrageous pass. But the turn in the half space for Messi. If Messi lose a pace and deteriorate in other department, but to collect the ball in the half pockets and turn at his defender and look up and can make a beautiful pass or can shoot at goal, remember, he will never lose that bit of a quick thinking of half turn, half space, shoot, pass. He will never lose that. That's bread and butter. And the goal that scored, the first one, and I think it's the second one, the deflect, the ball that ricocheted off of Luka Zidane. Arguably, the keeper could have done better with the 2 goals. But one of them, I don't remember if it was, I think the one that he scored on the edge of the 18, that struck right on the ground, on the right-hand corner of the Algeria goalkeeper, Luka Zidane. I think that's even a bread and butter. Messi have scored loads of those goals over the years. But it's the attitude coming into this game, the news coming into this game. No one knows if Messi going to be fit. But you see Lionel Messi sprinting, closing down with Lautaro Martinez. And they're like, this Argentina team has to be the best team in the tournament. Not with individuality, but with a body of collective work. It has to be one of the best teams in the tournament. They put in a magnificent performance versus Algeria. Yeah? When you look at McAllister, who started in the middle again? McAllister, it will come back to me. But when you look at Cuti Romero, Licho Martinez, Facunda, the left back that came in for Tagliafico, Facunda Medina, and also Molina on the right hand side. These players are not having the best of season. Not even Dibu Martinez was having the best of season. But you're looking at McAllister, yeah, and Enzo Fernandez. It's not their best season, but there's something where Lionel Scaloni built this team and it is emotion tactically. You know, I don't know if I'm saying it the right terms, but the emotions that's around this team tactically, how we built this team and emotions. It's very unique on how a coach uses skills and motivate players. And you can say that this man has built a generation of team for Lionel Messi since he arrived in 2018. Arguably, it was a lot of negative news released from the press during that time at his appointment, that no experience, where this man is going after losing out in the Copa America, in the World Cup final as well. Where is this guy going? And he have created monstrous team for Argentina, but for Lionel Messi to build his reputation back with the Celeste, back with the Albe Celeste fans and the selection. And I'm saying, this is not the coach of Tata Martino, Peckerman, or Sabella, who went to the last World Cup final before Russia and before Scaloni took over. It's not that coach. That coach, or those coach, built Argentina team with just one man. But this coach built a squad around Lionel Messi to fight for him. Build it with a lot of emotions around it, the passion. And this team can find result with a Lionel Messi. It happened in the CONMEBOL region. But I'm saying, how this coach have built his reputation with this team and with these players. Lionel Messi have played with bigger superstars than these players. Almada, not the best season for Atletico Madrid. Rodrigo de Paul is not having the best of time for Inter Miami in the MLS. But if you look at the performances that Messi managed to get out of these players, arguably it goes back to 2014, 2010, 2006, his first World Cup. Argentina team filled with much more gigantic superstars. But they couldn't manage to get the best and merge that with him. But when you see this Argentina team having a lot of success, when Messi get on the ball, there's always 3 to 4 movements ahead of him. There's always movement. Back then, the players are stagnant on the pitch. This is why before the Lionel Scaloni era start for Argentina, Messi likes to play with Angel Di Maria because he's a player that always on the move. Always on the move. You get what I'm saying? So we are witnessing something great at this moment. 16-16 with Miroslav Klose, and I think the record will shatter in the group stage. And you want to extend it as well. because Kylian Mbappe is coming. He's just what, 27 right there. He's coming. He have like another World Cup at his peak. And if he take good care of his body, he will have 2 more World Cup. So he can bring this record to 20. So Messi wants to enjoy and set a very good record in this tournament. So Argentina, for who wasn't an Argentina fan, or who isn't an Argentina fan, come and say Argentina is not one of the favorite. You cannot doubt a world champion with a Lionel Messi on that team. I'm not an Argentina fan. I don't like a bone in Argentina. But when it's a greatness, you have to give greatness its credibility, and you have to give it its respect. But let's see. I think this Argentina team will go deep, and they will be one of the hardest teams to beat because of the whole spectrum and optics. I know this team was built to supply Lionel Messi and fight for Lionel Messi and fight for the Albi Celeste fans. Look at when he scored. Fans are crying. This is what Lionel Scaloni have built over the last 8 years. Leave it right there. I don't think I've missed anything. You know what I'm saying? So I know I didn't much goes into Algeria. You know, they scored a goal as well. It was chopped off. I think it was the right decisions, but they were nowhere close to get anything, you know, in that game versus Argentina. But the Norway effect, yeah, the Norway effect of debut goal, you know, for Erling Haaland in the World Cup. The last time Norway was in the World Cup, they got eliminated in the knockout run versus Italy in 1998. I think, yeah, right. The last group stage game was a famous victory against Brazil to let them advance to the run of 16. I think they drew their first 2 games, 98, and they famously beat Brazil 2-1, I think. So that is their last group stage game. But Erling Haaland is just the collective work and the structure and how this Norwegian team is arguably the best they have ever seen, with the crop of players that playing at a very elite level. The Norway team that went to the run of 16 in the 90s, look at the history and of where those players were playing. It's chalk the cheese. It's chalk the cheese. You look at the midfield alone. Yeah, you look at the midfield, and you have Berg, I have Olsen from Benfica, Berg is from Fulham, Odegaard is from Arsenal, a captain that just left the Premier League and went to the Champions League final. They have never have these. Erling Haaland, 50 appearances, almost 60 goals. That tells you that he's more than a goal a game for his national team. Arguably the best team in the UEFA qualification round. That was in a group with Italy and smash them a piece. Smash them a piece. So this Norway team, I see why a lot of people saying this team is probably on a trajectory and thumping above their level of where they can play in this World Cup. And I think a good run should be a quarterfinal if they manage to get favorable draw. But with them in the French group with Senegal, the job is not done, but they're halfway into it. But just to see, you know, the Norway team is pouncing and they're playing very good, and just so they're getting the ball wide and getting the balls right across in the dangerous areas. They're playing direct, they're playing clever, they're playing smartly, and Erling Haaland is arguably was a part of probably all the goals. I think, but not one. But he was a part of the goals. I think the last goal could have, you know, get him match, but he was a bit of a distance away from the goal where he head the ball back across, and I think it was an own goal. I don't think he got an assist for that as well. But this team have a huge responsibility. They have a huge responsibility because these players would have been growing up in Norway hearing about the famous team that beat Brazil, and they want to they want to replicate something like that in this World Cup, especially having Erling Haaland winning trebles for Man City, winning I don't remember if he never won a champion, but winning leagues, scoring goals in the Champions League. He's just a goal dust at this moment. He's just a goal dust. You understand? I think he's going to be right up there. If he can manage to get Norway to the quarterfinal, he will be right up there in the goals. But I think this is the World Cup where Erling Haaland can cement his name. Yeah? Erling Haaland can cement his name off all the talks about, he's not that player, he's not that elite player. This is the World Cup to prove to people that I can go to a different level. Not just to score and as a goal machine, but I can bring a nation on my back. And if you look at the front three for Norway, Nusa, Haaland. Nusa is a very good youngster with Jan Diamande, the Ivory Coast player that was going to high school 2 years ago in the US. He's a part of that Leipzig team as well. And then you have Swallowed. Strand Larsen didn't get on the pitch yesterday. Did not even get on the pitch. The Crystal Palace man that moves from Wolves. So if you look at their team, they have players in England, they have players in the Italian Seria A, they have players at the highest level. In Portugal, in Spain, they have players at the highest level playing. So this is why they are right up there to be one of the favorite, to get out of this group. And their last group where, they run to the final, to the run of 16, I must say, they drew with Morocco and then beat Brazil in the last group stage game. Yeah, famous victory that sent Norway fans really celebrating like what they were celebrating yesterday in the capital of Oslo. So, Jordan and Austria, I think the victory went to the right team. Austria was magnificent, one of the better team as well. Again, they're punching above their waist. Ralf Ragnick been getting a fine tune. Arnautovic came off the bench to score as well. I think it's a very good team. I think the Austria team is still a very good team. Strong team. They built around different defensive. They built this team solid at the back as well, but can score goals. They can score goals, and for them, to in our group with Argentina and Algeria, they will fancy them chance. Yeah, they will fancy their chance, and the real sets up generations of Austrian players. It was all the way back in 1954, 1960 World Cup. That was the last time they really did something in that era of World Cup. They haven't done not much. They have not get to the knockout round in the modern era. But you talk about finishing fourth in the 30s. I think when Italy won that World Cup, this is a team with a historically old generations of players from 50, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, 80 years ago. Austria was very good at their peak in the World Cup. But now they have another set of players coming through where I think they can do something in this World Cup by getting out of the group, getting to the run of 32 and run of 16. And I think maybe that where their journey will come to an end. But leave it right there. Much love and respect to each and everyone. Don't forget to smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I must say, subscribe to the channel. Like up the video. Share it. And leave it like that. This is another World Cup special on Nicardo Media House. We are covering it as it goes by here as well. Look out. Very soon, the Nick and That podcast will release again, talking more on the World Cup. I did a video this morning talking about Ronaldo Cephas of some transfer twists in the Russian league. So if you want to go there and watch that as well, don't forget to do it as well. But most important, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share. Comment what is your thoughts around the big top three hitting the onion bags, in yesterday action. Norway, Erling Haaland, Argentina, the little magician, Lionel Messi, and also Kylian Mbappe, the French player, equaling and passing Olivier Giroud on the day of being French all-time scorer for the national team. Much love and respect, people. I'm out.